Welcome to the first day of Unit 11. We're going to be on packet page 1. You can turn there. There's no warm-up for today. So today's topic is area on the coordinate plane. So plotting different things and then finding areas of shapes on there. So I just want to review a couple area formulas. So I'm assuming we're okay with like a square or rectangle is just length times width or base times height. So a couple others are triangle. We have the area is 1/2 base times height, and the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. And again, you can be writing this wherever you have space on page 1. The trapezoid, the area is 1/2 height, parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. And then parallelogram, the area is just base times height, where the base and the height are measured, again, perpendicular to one another. Because we'll see some of those today. So the first one we're going to do, we want triangle BDJ. So here's B, here's D, here's J. So it's a triangle, so we should be doing 1/2 base times height. Well, our base there, if we count across, is just 4, and the height is 3. 1/2 times 4 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, so we'll have 6, and it's an area, so we'll say units squared. Next, we have parallelogram BDKJ. Here's B, D, K, and then J. So for our area, we just do the base times the height. Well, our base there from B to D is 4. And our height, you're measuring the straight up and down height. So that distance there, which is 3, so our area is just 12 units squared. Next up, we have triangle BCJ. So we'll have 1/2 our base times our height. Our base now is just 2. Our height is 3. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So we have 3 units squared. And it makes sense. That triangle was half of the one we did in part A, and its answer is half. And our last one for this picture, ACJF. There's ACJF. So that would be a trapezoid. So we've got 1/2 our height. The height is the straight up and down height. So that's 3. Parenthesis, base 1 plus base 2. Well, from A to C, that amount is 7. Base 2 is from F to J, that amount is 5. So this is going to be 1/2 times 3 times 12. Well, multiplication can be done in any order. So because 12 is even, let's do the 1/2 times 12 first, which is 6, then times the 3, which will give us 18 units squared. Moving down to the bottom, we're going to graph these 3 lines, and whatever area is enclosed, we will then find the area that is in there, whatever shape it is. So let's start out with our x equals 0 and y equals 0. Y equals 0 is a horizontal line that goes through the y-axis y equals 7 is a horizontal line that crosses through the y-axis at 7. So here's 7 on the y-axis, so there's y equals 7. X equals a number are always vertical lines. If we have x equals 0, that's crossing through the x-axis at 0, which is the same as just saying the y-axis. And now the last one, this is really y equals 1x plus 0. The last number tells you where to start on the y-axis, so we're going to start at 0. The slope which is really 1 over 1, tells us how to move. So we're going to go up 1 and right 1. Up 1 because it's positive 1 on top, and then right 1 because there's 1 on the bottom. So we'll go up 1 and right 1 over and over again until we've gone far enough to make sure we get an enclosed space. And what's created is this triangle. So our base and our height, remember, have to be perpendicular to each other. So we're going to use this side and this side. They are each 7 if you count them out. So our area will just be 1/2 of 7 times 7. So you can either write that as 49 over 2, or that's also 24.5 units squared. If we move to the next page, we're going to do another example of one like the one we just did. Let's start off with y equals 1. That should cross through the y-axis at 1 and is a horizontal line. X equals -6 should cross through the x-axis at -6 and is a vertical line. And then for the -1/2 x plus 3, we'll start by putting a point on the y-axis at 3. It's negative, so think of it as -1 over 2. The -1 tells us we're going down 1, and then the 2 says we're going right 2. So keep going down 1 and right 2 a ways. And then follow the pattern going in the reverse direction. Well, those 3 lines create an enclosed triangle, this triangle here. So we again are going to do 1/2 base times height. If we count, our height is 5, our base is 10, so we'll do 1/2 10 times 5. Half of 10 is 5, and then 5 times 5 is 25, so we'll have 25 units squared. And again, it's units squared because we have an area. All right, looking at number 4, they give us 4 vertices of a figure, so we'll plot those. There's A. B will go 6 to the right and 6 down. C will go 9 right and 5 up. And D will go 1 left and 5 up. Well, this is a parallelogram, so we need base times height. Our base is 10, and the height needs to be measured straight up and down. That amount is 11. So we just get 10 times 11, which gives us 110 units squared. And if you're not sure of these in your head, feel free to punch them in your calculator. Next up for 5, we got another figure with 3 vertices. This is going to be a triangle. For D, we'll go 1 left and we'll go 5 down. For E, we'll go 4 right and 5 down. And for F, we'll go 4 right and 7 up. We've got a triangle, so we need 1/2 base times height. Our base is just 5, and our height is 12. So we'll have 1/2 5 times 12. Again, because multiplication is commutative, you can multiply those in any order. So let's do the half times 12 first to get 6, and then 6 times 5 will give us 30 units squared. All right, moving down to the bottom, we have a quadrilateral, so a four-sided figure. We'll plot each of those points. 1, 1 will go right 1 and up 1. 4, 5 will go right 4 and up 5. G will go 10 right and 5 up. And then H will go 8 right and down 1. So notice this is not any of our nice figures. So what your strategy is when it is not a nice figure is to make a rectangle around the figure. The left side of our rectangle should be the furthest point to the left. So we're going to make our left side here. The bottom side should be wherever the furthest point down is. The right side should be wherever the furthest point right is. Actually, I got to go back. My H point is in the wrong spot. Let me fix that. I plotted my H point at 7. It should be at 8. Okay, that should be better. All right, so let's try that again. So we're going to make a rectangle that goes around. The right side of the rectangle should be, or the left side of the rectangle should be where the furthest point left is. The bottom side of the rectangle should be where the furthest point down is. The right side of the rectangle should be where the furthest point right is, and then the top side should be where the highest point is going up. So what our strategy is we're going to do the blue rectangle and subtract off the triangles we don't want. This blue rectangle is 9 by 6. Well, 6 times 9 is just 54. So we're going to do 54 minus each of our rectangles. Let's start with that one. We've got a rectangle that is 3 by 4. So we're going to do 1/2 times 4 times 3. Well, that's really 2 times 3, so we get 6. So we're going to subtract a 6 off for sure. If we do this triangle, that is 2 by 7. So we'll do 1/2 times 2 times 7. 1/2 times 2 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. So we're going to subtract 7 off. And then the last one we'll do is this triangle here. It's got a base of 2 and a height of 6. So we're going to do 1/2 times 2 times 6, which will give us 6. So we're going to subtract 6 off. Well, 6 and 6 is 12. Subtracting 7 more is 19. So we're going to do 54 minus 19. And that's going to give us 35 units squared. So this is a technique you'll see several times on the homework. If it's not one of our nice shapes that we have an area formula for, make a rectangle around it. You know how far up, down, left, and right to go by where the furthest point is in that direction. Do the area of the rectangle and subtract off the triangles. Sometimes in doing what the rectangle around, you might end up with a rectangle or a square in some parts, and you just would subtract those off as well. All right, last one for today. We'll plot these points. We're going 7 left and 2 down. Then we're going 7 left and 6 up. 1 right and 6 up. And then 7 right and 2 down. So this gives us a trapezoid. So that's 1/2 times height times base 1 plus base 2. Our height needs to be the straight up and down height. So if we count that distance, that should be 8. Our base 1, we'll maybe say from K to N. From K to N, that was 7 going each way, so that's 14. And then from L to M is our other base, that would be 8. So 1/2 times 8 is 4. Adding those together gives us 22. And 4 times 22 is just 88 units squared. So either plot the points or graph the lines, find the area of the shape. If it's not a nice shape, do the rectangle around and do the area of the rectangle minus the parts we don't want. That's it for today's video. Have a great rest of your day.